Hello there, welcome to the Carnegie Gary Peer TV report for summary for July leading into August. My name's Leor Samuel.
And I'm Daniel Rees.
Daniel, welcome to the show. With Gary going away on another holiday, my co-anchor has been replaced by this tall, handsome chap, Daniel Rees, as fellow senior sales consultant for our office. We look forward to bringing you some great results and some new listings from our agency, Gary Peer and Associates, over the last month. Daniel, good to have you on board, mate.
Thank you.
So Dan, how long have you been in the industry now?
Going on 11 years now.
11 great years. Well, definitely, I can tell you what, you're kicking a lot of goals in the Carnegie area. And Daniel, it's great to have you as a team member of our agency, and we love having you on board. So, how's family life?
Yeah, fantastic. The kids are growing up fast, so it's very exciting times at home, and obviously juggling work-life balance is always a challenge and exciting.
Well, Daniel, I can tell you what, with the real estate hours, you coming into this industry 11 years ago, you always work weekends because you're a hospitality man previously. Might want to tell your viewers about some of your restaurants in the past that you were very known in the St Kilda, Port Melbourne area. Tell us a bit about your work history prior, Dan.
So coming from sort of being restaurant manager at the Grand Hyatt for several years, I then moved into Fitzroy Street and had Superbo there for a number of years. And then I managed to move on from there into Port Melbourne, and I had Cafe Zest before I entered the real estate community.
Definitely knows how to work those work hours as well, and juggling 3 kids like me at the moment, but being in real estate, we love our job, don't we? But hospitality, I think you've definitely found the right industry being in real estate. Well, Daniel, Corporate grammarian like myself, backing with a lot of corporate grammarians in our agency, Gary Peer and Associates. But let's cover off on some real estate talk. How are you finding the market, Dan?
Yeah, fantastic. Look, there's always been talk of the market sort of slowing down a little bit. We certainly haven't seen really signs of that. It's been a fantastic few years, and it just looks like it's getting better and better.
Well, what viewers, which you wouldn't really know, is Daniel's a bit of an off-the-market specialist. You've had an amazing run, Daniel, just selling a few listings not advertised to the open public. We had a few great results, one of those in Oakley Road, which we've covered off a couple of months ago, at 180 Oakley Road, and you met an underbidder who missed out on that property, and you found a seller in the street, and you put a nice little quiet deal together, and both vendor and seller happy there, which we won't reveal addresses, but we do a lot of these sellings, outside of the normal auction process, the whole bells and whistles of the day and the whole campaign. But should those sellers looking to do something on the quiet as well, we are very open to that method as well with our extensive database, and week in, week out with those disappointed bidders missing out at auctions, always looking for good quality real estate in the area. So Daniel, did you want to add anything?
I was going to say, it's a bit, it's being a specialist and really understanding your client's needs and really tailoring a strategy that will meet their requirements.
Yeah. So Daniel as well, and you've had a great run outside of the Carnegie district as well. You've sold recently in Bentley East, which we'll cover off on, a lot in St Kilda West, Caulfield and surrounds, and you're definitely kicking great goals in our office. So Daniel, the month of July, some of the results to cover off on. Unbelievable with our clearance rates, I must say, hovering sort of 80 to 90% week in, week out. First one we'll cover off on was 6 at 32 Wall Street in Ormond there, handled by Maxine Pekowski and Gary Peer. 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom offering. Do you want to talk a bit about that one, Daniel?
So that was a fantastic opportunity at a really interesting time as well, because the market had just introduced the first home buyers grant, where a first home buyer under the value of 600,
yeah, the threshold there,
doesn't pay any stamp duty, with a sliding scale there till 750. So
well, that was an interesting. That was the first week of July, and talking about, does the state government have impact in relation to sort of buyer demand and supply? Well, there hasn't been as much increased supply. We thought there'd be a bit more coming on with these incentives for first home buyers especially, but this auction just really flew. Sold for $562,000. We're expecting interest around the mid-4s there. So congratulations to both purchaser and vendor on that result. The next one we'll cover off on was that land offering that I sold on behalf of a client at 259 to 261 Nearham Road in Carnegie, one of my biggest auctions that I've ever done. Proud to say this offering here sold to a local developer for $3 million, definitely the feather in my cap, and one of the highest selling prices in Carnegie 2017 so far.
And what was interesting about that as well, that we did that as a midweek auction, Leo. I think that's a good point to just share.
Yeah, it was a Thursday auction at 2 p.m. We're stopping traffic in Nearham Road, not far from the Koonang Road shops, but it was quite, 2 bidders going for that one. And not just your usual weekend auctions, but we do auctions more so with land and commercial blocks of flats as well midweek, but definitely was a good outcome for both seller and purchaser as well. 1 Pell Street, Bentley East. Now, I love this story. Why? Because my brother, Aviv Samuel, the go-getter he is, met a client many years ago trying to help him find a block of land. This client bought this block of land through another agency, but with my Viv's tenaciousness, or his tenaciousness, or tenacity, my English call for grammar not good. His tenacity to follow up this buyer in time led him to get this fantastic brand new town residence on the corner of 1 Pell Street and Jeweller Street there. A fabulous town residence built by Michael Factor. Townhouses in Bentley East. Now, Bentley East is a funny suburb because it's massive. It actually goes from Tucker Road to Warrigal Road. And this townhouse, a beautiful townhouse, well constructed, sold for $1,384,000 on a reserve of $1.3 million, with 3 buyers going for this one. But I'm proud to say as well, being 2 on the block here, the person that missed out on that property that sold at 1 Pell Street bought the other adjoining half straight after for $1,350,000. So great work by my brother. Vendor is wrapped, 2 sales in the one day, but beautiful offerings there. And that Bentley East market, Daniel, I can tell you what, the demand for townhouses is unbelievable for there, especially in the Coatesville primary
So
zone
that second sale was also an off-market sale, as we were saying before, our office doing a lot of these off-market sales, and wasn't advertised, but the underbidder had the opportunity and was lucky enough to purchase on the day as well. So
exactly right, and that just shows you, good quality town residences are in huge demand in that Bentley East, and we covered it years ago. I made a call saying Bentley East and Oakley South, that pocket there, buy land when you can. If you've got the opportunity to subdivide in time or just a land bank, look further there, and look no further than that pocket there in East Bentley. Another sale we'll cover off on was one at 242 Koonang Road in Carnegie. The price was undisclosed, Daniel, but you'd come to a few open for inspections with myself there.
a wonderful villa, like a fantastic unit.
2 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 car. We were quoting 7 to 770 there, and I'm proud to say that we sold it in excess of the range and pretty much a new sort of record price point for a 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom villa that was pretty much in original condition. Absolutely. As well. Also, 7 Porter Road, Carnegie, handled by Daniel Fisher from the office. Tell us a bit about that result,
So that
Daniel.
was a original home, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom on a fantastic land allotment there, and a very competitive auction, Leo. I was fortunate enough to stand with the underbidder on the day. Unfortunately, they missed out, but a very, very happy home landowner there now, and that sold for $1,510,000.
Unbelievable. Like that pocket of Carnegie, Porter Road, not far from where the 67 tram ends on Koonang Road, just behind there. A great pocket to buy in, and I tell you what, house and land, 1950 style that one was. And we're renting it out for them, so that the investor bought it with the intention to do obviously future plans with the property there. But the demand for land, as I keep saying, in Carnegie, look no further than buying good quality real estate than that, because that is a great buy.
And Philip,
even though it sold 100,000 over reserve, but and Philip was at his element with that auction, I believe. But yeah, that pocket there in Carnegie as well. There's a lot of brand new side-by-side townhouses going up there, Daniel, and beautiful new homes as well. It's just going to get better and better in time. 2A Goodridge Street, we'll cover off on that one. That was a subdivided block, 266 square metres, a 3-bedroom, smallish sort of dual occupancy, sold for $900,000 right on the knocker there. We're expecting interest between 8 to 880 on that one. Also around the corner from Coatesville Primary as well. 2 at 9 Argyle Street, the same day, Daniel. Tell us a bit about that story, because it's an interesting story because you're a bit of a specialist in that subdivision.
I was fortunate to represent a client of ours a few months ago, and it was we advertised the property. It did go online, but we didn't end up at an auction there. It was more of a private sale due to personal reasons and so forth. We were really pitching to try and set a record for the type of unit that it is amongst many units in Argyle Street. And we ended up negotiating with a few buyers once the sale was triggered, and we set a fantastic record there. After speaking to the neighbours and having the opportunity to represent the next door neighbour here, Obviously, like all owners, they wanted more than what the previous sale had gone for, and we took on that challenge and are absolutely pleased with the result that we've now managed to set a new precedent and a new record there at $592,000.
So in summary, a few months ago, you met 389 Argyle Street vendor, went to market, you sold it for a premium, proactive work, found another seller in the block, took it to auction, and what you thought initially was a good price for the one at the back was actually beaten again by the one. So the market, you like to think the market, yes, moving in upwards direction, and going the next level up to get more from that when new precedent, new prices being set week in, week out. So well done on that result, and a good auction it was indeed. 10 Walnut Street, Carnegie. Now, talk about a long dragged out auction. Nicholas Ritchie and myself were handling this sale here, block of land, just over 500 square metres of land. Now, this was an interesting auction, viewers, because over 100 bids on the market at $1,150,000, but I was taking $1,000 rises, and you were working with that buyer, absolutely, Daniel, getting those $1,000 bids between $1.1 to $1.2 million, and it looked like it was going to be sold and knocked down. And then what? Guess what?
A gentleman on the fence, one of the buyers who we actually know, and they were actually at the Porter Street auction.
That's right.
So again, buyers moving around that we identified them from auction to auction, came in at the last moment and put a bid in, but was not successful. The gentleman that was all the way bidding in those thousands was actually the final purchaser.
So the funny thing is, we usually conduct our auctions on the half-hour mark, and it was a 10:30 auction, and I was looking at my auction, my watch at 25 past 11, and I was still going at this auction, as I said, with $1,000 rises. But between 1.2 to the eventual selling price of $1,254,000, these buyers came out of the woodwork an hour after the auction, literally, and they were jumping in $5,000 rises at the conclusion of the auction. And it's like, where were you before then? But no quick hammers at our auctions, unfortunately, buyers. But you know, that was a well dragged out auction, and very proud to say the team handled it very well logistically, and a great outcome as well. $1,254,000, just over $100,000 over reserve for that, with 6 bidders competing for that one. After that, I went to the auction at 1 Atkinson Street, Bentley. A great single-level villa there in a subdivision of 2, sold by Adam and Joel. Reserve of $750,000 was smashed out of the water, with eventual selling price of $840,000, with 3 bidders competitively bidding for that one, and sold to a lovely family as well. And you might see some footage there of a big scream at the end, because this buyer had been looking for a while, and they were happy to finally get their weekends back. A couple other sales we'll cover off on, Daniel. We've covered off on the sort of the bigger stuff as opposed to the apartments, but yeah, a few sales that Graham and Tanya and Aviv for the office put together in July. One of those was 5 at 12 Judith Street, a great apartment there, 1 bedroom with a bit of a study nook, sold for $312,000. Great investment opportunity there near one of our local favourite cafes, being Left Field, Daniel.
And a lot of hard work, I think, by Aviv and his team there. They certainly had their challenges along the way, and I think a shout out to Tanya for the hard work and one of her first deals really from start to finish. And
yeah,
I think
she did a great job on that one, and she persisted with that one. And then the other one was 21 at 40 Koonang Road in Carnegie, sold next door to our office, and Graham sold that one for the asking price to a lovely investor, and that one also sold for $309,000. So Daniel, that covers off on some of the sales. It was a busy month of July, which tends to be usually a quieter month with winter. But here we are, now spring, and new listings to cover off on, Daniel.
Well, just as we talk about spring, I actually wanted to bring you a couple of flowers that I found especially on the way here, because as the flowers start to blossom and the market heats up as we head into the spring market, I think it's really exciting times. So
I know the comedy festival is usually in March, Daniel, but I know we're sort of now in August. But thank you for this, and yeah, my wife turned 40 as well, so I might add it to her rose collection in our vase at home. But more on a serious note, to cover off on some new listings for the month, and a busy August here we are, and covering off on some listings now. 13 Dyer Court, Clarinda. Myself and Graham have the opportunity to sell this offering here, and we're not just limited to Carnegie and surrounds, but we love selling in Clayton and Clarinda. Tell us a bit more about the property at 13 Dyer Court, Daniel.
So this is a home that Graham has had the opportunity and worked with these clients for some time, where it's a 5-bedroom home, 2 bathrooms, again with 2 car spaces. We think it's going to go really well. There's been a good interest or a good start there. Again, 5-bedroom home, which is not as common as 3 or 4 bedroom homes that we come across.
It's over 2 levels, and I can tell you what, buyers, or viewers, I should say, you should have a look at this offering there, because you look at the subdivisions from Oakley South being very pricey now, and anything sort of east of Warrigal Road there, the next pockets, Clayton, Clarinda, even pockets of Dingley, house and land there, that's what you're looking to buy as things get chopped up and apartments being built everywhere in a city. Fast forward 10, 20 years time, these pockets as well, you're going to look back and you're paying, somewhere 8 to 880, we're expecting inches for this one. You'll look back in time and realise, why don't I buy more of these opportunities? Now, I think one of the listings of the year for our agency, Daniel,
Absolutely.
And that's the one at 45 to 47 and 33 House Street, Murrumbeena. What a magnificent listing and opportunity for that lucky developer buyer out there. Tell us a bit more about that one, Daniel, because you're handling it alongside myself.
Absolutely. So myself, Graham, and with you, Lior, we've had the honour and the privilege to actually represent this to the market. And again, it's been in our family for many, many years.
Over 50 years, I believe.
I believe it was part of the old dairy for Murrumbeena there, and it's an amazing opportunity for a local developer to get out into the market, into the new marketplace there near all the parklands and all the amenities that have been built up there, with the new Murrumbeena station that's being developed as well. We think it's going to most likely probably be become a townhouse development, which will be a spectacular precinct in the area there. So
coming off that
exciting.
Big development sale that we had in Nearham Road, which we covered off on earlier, this one here, how often do you get the opportunity to buy, over 1,800 square metres of prime Murrumbeena land? I love the fact that, being a corner position here, the great benefits of the general residential zone 1 will definitely be appealing from a height perspective, up to 3 stories, I believe.
Yep.
And, we've had some really good inquiry here, and I reckon it'll be pretty much one of the record sales for the year in Murrumbeena, and I look forward to auctioning that on Saturday the 19th of August,
which is
at
next Saturday,
1:30 p.m. That's right, Daniel. So good luck to our client with that sale as well. Another sale we'll cover off on is one at 25 Patterson Road in Bentley, Daniel. Looks like a nice 50s home. I haven't had an opportunity to inspect that, but you know more about that, so maybe you cover off on
again,
that.
it's a 3-bedroom home with 1 bathroom. It's been refurbed. It's got beautiful flooring, a fantastic kitchen, and it's been really immaculately done, keeping the period features in hand. And we're with a price range of $770 to $840 there for this one. And that goes to auction on the 19th of August as well, Leo.
So you look at it, being freestanding blocks as well in Bentley being very pricey. It's your opportunity if you don't want that whole big backyard, you want something 2 on the block, you want something a bit better than the standard villa unit, check that one out, should go well in a great pocket of Bentley being Patterson Road. Now, the feature property where we're filming on location now is this home, which I love, and every time I come here since I've listed it, it just gets better and better in time. And here we are at 2 at 3 Milton Street, Carnegie, a fantastic pocket here in Carnegie. If you don't know where Milton Street is, it's located just off Nearham Road, not too far from the Grange Road intersection there. And I can tell you what, Daniel, I love single level homes, but 2 on the block, you don't get these opportunities often at this price point. Tell us a bit more
And
about
a lot
it.
of these units are traditionally 2-bedroom. This is the unusual 3-bedroom offering, which is fantastic because it really is offering the opportunity for young families or a downsizer. So it really opens itself up to most of the marketplace, and we feel that it is going to have a strong...
So the home subdivided, it's a big block here that was subdivided into 2. It's only a few years old, this fabulous home. I love the fact that it's got that period charm. It's sort of like a replica design. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, fantastic living room where we're sitting in now with dining, nice open plan kitchen, and a beautiful wraparound courtyard that all orientates the right way, and it's got full of natural light. But we saw the result that we got in Oakley Road a few months ago. Single level homes like this, Daniel, I think it's going to go very well, and we're expecting interest $1,150,000 to $1,265,000, and we start our first open for inspections this weekend being the 2nd week of August. So come check this one out, especially those downsizers coming from a big home. You will be definitely impressed with what this one has to offer.
Not just the natural light here though, but one thing that really caught me when I first came into the property was the ceiling height. I think they just have not spared a cent here in the building.
It's got a ton of features, you know, even with the LED light windows, you've got the study nook, and just the quality here, you can really done it. And it's done by the actual owner who actually did the subdivision originally as well. So definitely check this one out. Now, Manchester, 16 Manchester Grove, the Corford Heath development in Glen Huntly. That sort of set me all those years ago when I sold the subdivision back approximately 11 years ago. And I'm proud to say I've got one resale back from years ago when I pushed my client 11 years ago to pay $450 odd for this one, and they definitely haven't looked back. And here we are, 16 Manchester Grove, Glen Huntly to cover off on now. A fabulous 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom townhouse with a double garage. Was very unique for its time when I sold these townhouses in Manchester Grove. And buyers, if you didn't know, the Corford Heath development in Glen Huntly, not the Corford Heath where the Corford Racecourse is, but the Corford Heath at Glen development located on Nearham and Manchester Grove there, right near the Safeway or Woolworths supermarket as well. These townhouses have just unbelievably appreciated in time, and literally close to double by the looks of it. We talk about, you know, real estate double every 10 years in Melbourne, and I reckon this one's sort of pretty much right on the mark. So, you know, buyers looking for accommodation in Glen Huntly, I'm a big fan. The secret's out. I live out up the road in Glen Huntly as well, so I can definitely vouch for this. But I remember 11 years ago, Daniel, week in, week out, I was involved with selling all these townhouses back in the day.
Back then, the multi-level townhouses were pretty uncommon. They're probably a bit more common now, so it might be a bit easier for you to sell it, even though it's It
was very interesting because the market was a bit softer then, and people say, Glen Huntly, you know what? And you know what? A lot of buyers at the time, when I was doing a lot more in St Kilda, you know, came from St Kilda, Elwood, pockets of Elston, were looking for that next suburb down, and they did 10 years ago, 11 years ago. Instead of buying apartments, they took a risk. They bought townhouses, they bought blocks of land. But this subdivision has always done well, and it's been great. And I've sold a few in there, and every time they come up on the market, we just get better and better prices in time. But yeah, I love this one. Should go really well, and people didn't realise it was originally the old Caulfield Recycling Depot there back in the day. But a good offering there, and we're expecting interest. 850 to 935, and it starts this weekend for the first time. So Daniel, that pretty much covers off all the listings. We've covered off some sales, some good new listings coming up. You've bought me flowers, and the market, well, buyers, spring is upon us. We're taking our bookings, even got bookings up to 2018 so far, and we're looking for some more listings at time. But if you want to discuss real estate at any time, please feel free to contact Daniel Rees himself, the man, or myself and the team at Gary Peer & Associates Carnegie. Before we sign off, Daniel, did you want to mention anything else?
Well, just what a fantastic time it is, and if you are thinking of picking up an investment at the moment, we're always happy to give you advice, put you in touch with our finance professionals and so forth. So don't hesitate. Any real estate question that you have, we're always here to answer and to assist along the way. So
we've had a load of auctions that we've talked about as well. Please feel free to come to our auctions anytime. Enjoy a coffee on us on behalf of obviously our landlord clients as well, our vendors as well in conjunction. But we've loved bringing the show to the road here on Gary Peer TV. Signing off today for the late June, August edition here. My name's Leo Samuel.
And I'm Daniel Rees.
Have a fantastic day.